Hello and welcome back to Assetto Corsa. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. And F1 is back. We've just had qualifying for the Formula 1 Austrian Grand Prix, which is going to take place again next week as the Styrian Grand Prix, but we'll talk about that later and in this video. And we've got Valtteri Bottas on pole. However, we do have Lando Norris, I believe, in 4th place. Qualifying has just happened and when I'm recording this, and I might have already forgotten where Lando Norris was. So I'm driving the McLaren Formula Hybrid, but the 2019 version, because I do not have the 2020 version. We're at the Red Bull Ring, exactly where they are racing this weekend, and in this video I'm just going to be trying to get used to a car like this, which if you've seen my videos, you know I drive the older Formula 1 cars and I can be reasonably quick in them. I do not tend to drive this era of Formula 1 cars, so let's see what we can do. If I can get, I think the pole position lap time by Bottas today was a 1 minute 2.9 or 1 minute 2.8. What I'm going to look for is something nowhere near that. If I can get myself a 1 minute 8, obviously I don't have the car set up or anything for a qualifying lap, nor do I have all the ability available with the engine mapping and give it a little bit more power or anything like that. But I think if I can get a 1 minute 8 or anything below that, I think I'm doing fairly well. Naturally going to be slow on this, but let's see what happens. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. It's my first Assetto Corsa drive in quite a while, especially racing a car or in a race car on a racetrack, so maybe some spins and offs, you never know. Let's get started. Okay, so here we are. I think I'm ready to go. Let me just make sure that I'm using a hard lock now, so I do have a decent amount on the lock, and let's see exactly what happens on this. Now you might hear me a little bit further away. I'm going to try and boost that. Obviously over the noise of this it's going to be different. DRS seems to work nicely. Oh, I've got the buttons that I need. Let's see what happens. Let's see. I've just got to get used to it. First gear. That's good. Brakes are good. Okay. So, Formula 1, it is back, and Ferrari are trash. They genuinely are rubbish. I just cannot understand what Ferrari are playing at. I genuinely cannot understand what Ferrari are playing at in this, or what they have been playing at for the past few years. They have nothing. And on top of that, we've got the departure of Sebastian Vettel, who qualified 11th today, got kicked out of Q2. His teammate Charles Leclerc was less than 2 tenths ahead, and they were both wringing the neck out of the car. And yet the car was just nothing. Clearly they have some major problems with the car. Mechanically it isn't that good. The engine seems to be down on power. So it is quite interesting. Now the first few laps here I'm going to take rather easy, just to get my eye in, get used to the car, get used to what's going on. And just make sure that I understand where my track limits are, where I can and cannot attack. So that's why you see I'm not really using any of the ERS, and I'm just going to see where I can and cannot go. I have a feeling that corner is going to be the worst corner for me. McLaren doing fairly well. I think they've really improved. They've really improved what they do and how they've been performing. Obviously they've been on a rise the past couple of years. Lando Norris doing really well. Carlos Sainz moving to Ferrari, replacing Sebastian Vettel, who is out of a contract at the end of the year. Apparently Ferrari just told him with a phone call, despite the fact that they reassured him that they would put him down for a contract and that he was the #1 driver. Interestingly, I find it rather interesting in the fact that they said to him that it's because of the situation, the economic situation, and I find that rather amusing, given that Sebastian Vettel straight away said, well, it's not about the money, and for him it isn't about the money. He just wants to race. And yes, he has made some mistakes, that is for sure. But you're going to Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, both who are great drivers, but are they going to have the capability of doing what Sebastian Vettel can do in terms of leadership? Because Ferrari need an influence for... Oh dear, I've just done a Bottas. Ferrari need an influence from their drivers. They need a driver telling them what to do. It's going back to the Michael Schumacher days, where they needed a driver and a chief engineer and that kind of, that sort of thing, telling them what they needed to do. That was a little bit sketchy. This car's not as stable as I thought it was. And at the moment it doesn't seem that like they've got that, or if that they're listening. And that goes for Vettel as well. I do not think they're listening to them. Kimi Raikkonen is Ferrari's last race winner. Kimi Raikkonen is Ferrari's last race champion. And last season they got rid of him for Charles Leclerc. Was that a good idea? Potentially. But also kind of confusing. Why would you do that? Sure, Charles Leclerc has proved that he's no slouch, that's for sure. Completely and utterly missed the apex there. He's certainly proved he's no slouch, but he's not... I still think Kimi Raikkonen was a larger influence on the team. And he's now at Alfa Romeo. He qualified almost at the back of the grid. Alfa Romeo have really not done well at the start of this this strange season. But I think Raikkonen would have been really good there. I'm into the 1 minutes 9s. That's nice, without using any RS or any of the battery pack MGUK, whatever it is. MGUH? No, MGUK. Still trying to dial myself into this track. Try and understand where I can and cannot use the throttle, use the power. Speaking of teams that have suddenly improved though, Racing Point. What on earth is going on there? Suddenly I think tomorrow they could challenge for 3rd place. Now I don't think anybody's touching the Mercedes, but Racing Point could very well be challenging for 3rd place. Which is astounding. That really is astounding. And I'm starting to like the drive on this car. That's into the 1.8s already. I think I'm understanding why. I have to say, if it wasn't for that halo, which is obviously when you're actually driving the car, it's not noticeable, but when you're on a flat screen like this, it is. But if it wasn't for that halo, I wouldn't mind this era of car, plus the noise of the engine. That's even worse. Now I lost time there. I thought I was being clever. Clearly not. No, definitely not being clever there. Lost all the time I gained. Still not bad. Still not using ERS. I think with the ERS I've got another probably 2nd in it. So I'll be putting that on soon. But yeah, Racing Point. doing really well suddenly. I guess it's perhaps to do with the fact that they are using... Ooh, that slowed down really nicely. I'm guessing that's to do with the fact that they're using Mercedes parts or Mercedes designs. Which, I mean, Haas could be doing that, but they're using Ferrari's designs, and that's just a recipe for disaster, clearly. That's an absolute recipe for disaster right now. Nobody should be using Ferrari designs for anything. Still trying to figure out how much grip this car has. I think it's got a lot more grip than I am giving it credit. I do think it's got a lot more grip than I'm giving it credit for. Is that on the right mode? Yes. But Mercedes front of Formula 1, of course, again, class of their own. It's normality is resumed, apart from a new livery which supports the eradication of racism and introducing diversity in Formula 1, or continuing to. I think Formula 1 is, yes, it is predominantly a white society. And predominantly male as well, but I think that they do not discriminate as such. And inside Formula 1, inside the paddock, maybe outside sponsors might potentially. I really don't know, but obviously inside, and this is from people on the inside. They say no, it's good inside Formula 1. It's just getting in that's the difficulty, or even having the courage or the confidence to get into these things and want to go for it, knowing, you know, that you might be subject to racism, and nobody wants to be subject to insults or anything like that. So there is stuff going on there, which I think the new all black livery looks amazing. I was a little bit tentative at first, thinking why would they do that, but it looks amazing. I think they should keep some aspect of that black on their car. I can turn this in later. I genuinely think they should keep some aspects of their car black next season. It's rather incredible. Slightly faster? No, not slightly faster. I've got to figure out where I'm losing some time. Obviously, I'm talking. I'm not really trying to push this car right to the edge, but I'm still trying to get decent-ish lap times on it. Out to that corner. That's where I'm losing time. I need to be able to get some time out of that corner. Okay, fine. Then I'm assuming it's the same out of this corner as well. Yeah, it's the same out of these. It's out of these corners I'm definitely losing some time. And then sliding the car for good measure, meaning that I lose time all the way up this sequence. So if you get turn 5, 6 wrong, you will lose time all the way through. That was a very ragged lap. I want to avoid that curb. That curb is dangerous too. So what else is there? What are the news about Formula 1 returning? Well, you got Daniel Ricciardo going to McLaren to replace Carlos Sainz. I think that was a decision of his own once he found out that Sainz was moving to Ferrari. So that was his own decision. I think he thinks McLaren is better for the future. Renault are not doing terribly so far this season. Obviously it's only been the first race, but they seem to be okay. I think Racing Points have surprised everyone, but also not, due to the fact that you've got the... I see I've messed up that corner again. Mess up the corners before and you're done. You're cooked. Due to the fact that they've got that agreement now with Mercedes, so I guess people are surprised, but also not as surprised. Let's see how much time this is going to give us. Look at the time gain there. That's going to be a massive chunk of time, and that just shows how important the I've cut that. How important the MGU, the ERS unit is. It just has huge amounts of power available to the drivers. Even going on the gravel, still 1.5 seconds almost gained on this. Over 1.5 seconds gained, comfortably in the 1 minute 7s. I'll try another lap with that. I thought I was going to be struggling to be on the 1 minute 8s, but I guess with some practice I could be really fast with this car. I think I actually could be really fast with this car with some practice. We'll have to see, I guess. I cannot carry the speed around these corners though. I kind of want to carry a lot more speed around those corners that I cannot seem to be able to carry. Two seconds? That's crazy, that is. Right, let's go ahead and charge this up again. That is absolutely crazy. I could see myself getting into the 1 minute 5s at that rate. As I say that, obviously I go ahead and bin it, but that's okay. We need to charge up the battery anyway. Let's go ahead and charge it up. Okay, so these cars, this is obviously last year's, but this year's car hasn't changed as much. I think they've probably got maybe 2 or 3 tenths quicker overall. They have a lot of mechanical grip that I haven't yet exploited. But these cars can be really fast, I think. I might even be able to get into the 1 minute 5s. Now I'm not sure how close this is to obviously a real 2019 car. I think the 2019 race had qualifying had a lap time, pole position time of 1 minute 3 point, was it 3 flats? 1 minute 3 flats maybe? Still charging the battery, so you're going to see me losing time all the way up this hill. I think I can brake later there than I do. And I really shouldn't be straddling that curb. That's going to cause problems. And I've seen a few drivers make that mistake these past few days. Obviously everybody's a bit rusty getting back into this. And this is one of 2 weeks, so next week we have another race at this very circuit called the Styrian Grand Prix. And the Styrian Grand Prix, because this is the Styrian Mountains, so they're going to have the Styrian Grand Prix. And then the week after that we're going to Hungary, and in Hungary obviously you're going to have the Hungarian Grand Prix. And then we're going to have a week break, so we've got a triple header. We have a triple header followed by the British Grand Prix, followed by the 70th anniversary of F1 Grand Prix, which is also at Britain, also at Silverstone, which makes sense given Silverstone was where the first ever Formula 1 race was held. Interestingly enough, I would have thought that, or I would like them to have the older layout. That would be absolutely awesome, I think, if they had the older layout for this, for the track. So they've still got the loop, you know, bridge. I suppose we call it the bridge loop or the bridge circuit. They still have it. That was a mess. That was better though. So every time I've done a fast lap, I've gone off, but there we go. We're still charging the battery. So last lap, it says, was that my fastest lap? A 1:10.3? I thought I was in the 1:6s. Strange. So I need to be able to get on the power a little bit earlier there, but it's going well. So yes, you have the, so we've got the Styrian Grand Prix next week. Then we've got the, oh, that was badly done, very badly done. We've got the Hungarian Grand Prix. Then we've got the British Grand Prix, the 70th anniversary Grand Prix. So that's going to be after a week break. After the Hungarian Grand Prix, you've got a week break. Then you've got, straight after that, I think it's going to be the Spanish Grand Prix. So that's going to be an interesting one. I think you can ride those curbs more than I am, but track limits in Assetto Corsa are interesting. So I really don't want to mess around with the track limits in that. Apparently I got a 1:08.83. I thought it was in the 1:06s. Okay, fine. So yeah, not messing around with the track limits in Assetto Corsa. Then we've got a week break. Then we have the Belgian Grand Prix, followed by the Italian Grand Prix. I'm not sure if the Italian Grand Prix is straight away. It might be. It might be the very next week, the Italian Grand Prix, straight after the Belgian Grand Prix, which is interesting. And then after that, we really do not know. We haven't got a clue as to what is going to happen or what could happen. So it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. I think Mugello could have a Grand Prix. That would be awesome. There's been talks about that. I'm looking forward to seeing that. 1:08.4 without using the ERS. That's big. And you can immediately see what the ERS does for our lap times. That's another terrible corner, but somehow I'm still making it lap time. Go on. Oh, that's good. That was good. That was fairly good. I'm happy with that. Still slow. I think I'm still slow. But 107.2, that's not as slow as I thought. I thought I would be a lot slower. So I'm fairly happy with this, with how this is going. I could set the car up a little bit better, I guess. I could set the car up a little bit better. I want to get into the 1 minute 6s now. There you go, that's better. Let's try and get the next section done as well. There we go, still pushing. Almost out of power. No, I'm out of ERS. Oh, that's ruined it. I ran out of ERS just at the end. It'd help if I was watching where I was going. Okay, so looks like I'm getting a decent lap time out of this car. Obviously not on the scale of anybody else, but not on the scale of actual Formula 1 drivers. Not bad for somebody who doesn't drive these cars. I think I could get... I'm probably losing about a quarter second here to half a second there. Definitely. I think my first corner I've got going fairly well. Turn 3 is no good. I think here... that's probably what I want to do. Something similar to that. Because I'm struggling. And then here I think... maybe I should just turn the car more. I think I just need to turn the wheel more. I'm not used to having to turn the wheel this much. Probably the same case here. Now I saw the way Bottas did it. He essentially turned that into one very long corner, which I thought was incredible how he pulled that one off. So the way he pulled that off, I think I would like to try and do something similar. So really I want to straighten the car up and get on the throttle early like that to try and bring back or claw back time, but it's difficult. It's second, it has to be second around there. Third seems slightly too... Now I have to hit the brakes there as well. Maybe just hold the throttle at part throttle there could do the trick. I see now that's too wide. I wouldn't mind doing that on a good lap. What I just did for turn 10. Only 10 corners on this lap, but it is not an easy lap. There's a lot on this lap that needs to be taken a look at. Apparently I'm already losing massive heaps of time. What's happened? That's it, I've run out of talent. That's what's happened. Yeah, that's what's happened. I've clearly just run out of talent. Also, I think I'm a little bit slow at the apex of these corners. So that's the other thing I need to take a look at. Yeah. There's a spin. It's not the first person to spin that there. Who spun it yesterday there? Did anyone? I know Bottas went off, he went wide. I'm sure somebody spun it there. So I really need to work on figuring out how to get maximum lap time. But I think I'm doing alright, and it's nice to have Formula 1 back. Apart from the fact that Ferrari are abysmally slow. Seriously, it's really bad. Obviously the other thing that's missing here is there's no DRS up this hill. In actual Formula 1, the past 2 years we've had DRS up this hill, which could potentially account for some lack of pace, but not massive amounts. You're probably looking at about a quarter second. Yeah, I'd say it's probably about worth 1/4 of a second, or maybe a little bit more, maybe 4/10. Yeah, it's got to be second. I can't. Third just does not give me the rotation. That's no good either. And then here I'm thinking I do that. I don't know. I really don't know. Similar to what Bottas did, except he didn't mess up the last corner. That's what Hamilton did last year, and that ruined his car going over those curbs. And obviously it is the slower way around because you lose all the grip. See, this car really slows down faster than I think it does, and I need to take that into account. That's better. There we go, that was a lot better. What speed are we looking at? About 125 miles per hour, okay. Oh, that's wide. I think I can hold that 125. And try and make that a little bit wider too. Okay. I suppose one more lap of practice, and then I'll try and give it another hot lap to end this video. But it is great to have Formula 1 back. It's great to be, I have to say I appreciate the driving on these cars. I do not like the sound of the car still. And I really do not like the halo as a design feature. As a safety feature, great. As a design feature, no. I honestly think the aero screen was a better option. But there we go. That isn't too bad. Let's go. Let's see what this mess of a lap brings. A mess, that's what it brings. As a total and absolute mess. Yeah, this car slows down a lot faster than I think it does. I'm easily losing half a second at that corner, I think. Now I'm losing time everywhere. 108.94. I know I can go much quicker than that. Now that I've seen myself do it. Wow, that was terrible. Spinning at that corner has been something loads of drivers have been doing. So that's not something to... Oh, I wonder if first is useful here. I doubt it. Let's lose all the power of the engine And now I see another way to do something. Okay. Well, anyway, you guys saw me actually manage a 1 minute 6 point whatever it was. I know I can do it. I know I can do it, but it's been a bit scruffy. It's been interesting. It has been interesting getting into one of these cars, given I do not tend to ever drive these. It just shows how different these cars are to the older cars. I know Kimi Räikkönen said that you know, these cars are not so different as to the last few years, which I think is probably very correct. But compared to the cars of the mid-2000s, this is a very different car. This is a very, very different car. But it is good. It is good. It's nice to drive. I just do not like certain parts of it, namely the engine. Yeah, namely the engine. Let's go again. This is a long video, but I just want to keep driving. I want to get a really good lap out of it. That's what it is. And I want to try and claw back a whole heap of time up this hill. Yeah, even sliding out, I've managed to claw back 3/10 of a second. That's ridiculous. That's gone. I'll just charge this up again for another lap. Max Verstappen did that. It's an accident. That's what that is. That's what I think they've started calling it, a Maxident. Alright, I'll give it one more wind up of a lap. And see what I can do. So I'll wind it up one more lap, and from there we'll do everything we can. I think it doesn't use all of the battery, which is interesting. I think it doesn't use all of the battery through a lap. That's probably why I cannot get any faster. Maybe I need to stick a manual ERS button or something. And by that I mean on the good lap. I'm assuming I could, if I got this all correct and hooked up, I'm probably looking at a 1 minute 4, I think, for me. Right, we've got enough battery to get us through the next qualifying lap. Here we go. Hopefully this is a good lap. Might be, might not be. Slow first corner. Very slow first corner. I felt that without even looking at the time. Slow second corner. Or slow third corner. Slow fourth corner. This is appalling. Definitely run out of talent here. what limited talent I had. Oh, this is a horrific run. Why is it so poor? That was really poor. It was 1:07.59. When I could have got to 1 minute 6s. Okay, we're still a bit better on this lap. We're almost out of power though, so we're going to lose our... Unfortunately, we're going to lose our ERS ability to get us and keep us at speed, which is going to really hurt. There it goes, it's hurting massively. That's been a massive hurt. That could have been 4 or 5 tenths faster. Oh well. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Assetto Corsa as they come along and as I decide to make them. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Don't forget to support me on Patreon if you can do so. It's at www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out. Also, you can find me on social media at ecgadgetlp for both Twitter and Instagram. That is all from me, and I will see you guys next time in Assetto Corsa. I might actually do another one of these next week and just see how much I've improved. I might do a little bit of practice and see just what I can do with this. I feel like a 1 minute 5 is actually possible for me here, but there we go. I'll see you guys next time. Just end it with a crash. I'll see you guys next time.